Alright there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another Schedule 1 video with your boy, the Coconut Stick. Today, we're going to be doing a different barn cocaine setup. It's going to be short and simple. We're going to try and make it as short as possible and as simple as possible. First things first, we're going to go over everything you need. So we have 4 botanists, 4 chemists, and 2 handlers. That is 10 employees. Alright, then we have 30 storage racks. 10 of the storage racks is just extra storage that you don't actually need, and I'll point out the ones that you don't need. They're just there because they're cheap and it just helps fill out the barn. And then if you've got extra stock that you just need to throw places, or extra anything that you just need to drop off, you have the racks there to drop off. So 20 if you're on a budget, if you really can't afford the extra 10 large storage racks. I don't see why you couldn't, because they're literally $60 each. It's cheap. It's literally only just another $600. So 30 storage racks, 8 mixing stations, 24 plant pots. You can decide whether you want the full moisture or the air pots. We're going to go with the air pots. 24 suspension racks, 24 full spectrum lights. No matter what, always try to go with full spectrum lights because they give 30% extra growth, which is massive. 8 drying racks, 4 cauldrons, 4 lab ovens, 11 beds. 1 is for you, and either one brick press or 1 packaging station, depending on what you want as an individual. All right, we're going to go over the build first, starting with all of the storage racks. So we start off, we're going to go from left all the way around to right. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 4 are definite. These 2 you don't need. This is extra storage. So 5, 6. Okay. Then you're going to have 1 storage rack in between these 2 beams here. 7. 1 just after this beam, which is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to have 9, 10, 11. Now these storage racks aren't needed if you are only getting 20, but they're here just to help fill out the back instead of it looking bare. So that's 11. Then we're going to have, just from this point here, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's going to be a little gap in between. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8. Okay, so from the center, it's 1 from the center on each side. Right, and then that's down the middle done. Once again, you're going to literally have it symmetrical to how the other side is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there you go. There are the 30 storage racks. Then we're going to go over the plant pots. Actually, we should go over the beds. So you got 1 bed here, 1 bed here. These are for the 2 handlers. And then if you run all the way back here to the stairs, come up here, you'll have 4 beds there, 3 beds there, and another bed there. That will be 10. And then this one I've just kept for myself if you want to sleep. If you don't want like a bed to sleep in here, you can remove one of them beds down here and assign one of the handlers to this and just have no bed. All right, now we're going to go over the plant pots. So the way that we're going to do this is when you walk in, right, you'll see this first beam. What you're going to do is up against the wall here, you're going to have a space. So if you've already placed this storage rack, you'll basically place from like this edge here and go 1, 2. Then you'll leave a 1 square box here, do another 2, 1 square box here, another 2. If you want to make it simpler, you can go 1, 2 close to this beam, and then 1, 2 close to this beam with the gaps being in the front there, and then just 1, 2 in the middle. The beautiful thing is about this little setup here, this little gap, your workers will walk through. So don't worry about it being too small, because they will walk through these gaps because they can walk through these suspension racks. Then if you turn around, we're going to do the same. We're going to leave like a 2x2 square here, and then we're going to go 1, 2, and then that little space again, 1, 2, that little space again, like a 1 square, a 1x2 square space, 1, 2. You're obviously going to have your suspension racks with your full spectrum lights there, and then obviously you'll have like a 2 gap. It'll be 1, 2 gap, and then this 1, 2, then this 1, 2, and then you'll have exactly the same on this side. Come over here, have the gap again, go 1, 2, 1 square gap, 1, 2, 1 square gap, 1, 2, and it'll be at the beam. And then you leave the gaps up against the wall because that's where the storage rack is. All right, then we're going to go over drying racks. All you got to do is place it in line with this beam, facing this way. One there, you'll leave the gap there, and then one here. So he's got that little one gap up against this storage rack. Once again, this storage rack and this storage rack is just extra stuff. It's not actually needed for this build. And this bed here, no workers will be walking over to these two, these two to access them, because this is just overflow for seeds and soil for and fertilizer for you to refill the growing racks. Okay. And then obviously you'll do the same here. From this beam, you'll have the gap here. You'll go 1, and then the little space here. There'll be like a one space gap here, which you'll place here. Make sure you've got a 1 space gap here as well, in line with the beam. And then once again, because you've got this space here, because you've done the 2x2, you'll have the same here. So if you've already placed the storage rack, it's literally just in line with the leg here. You'll place it here with the little gap here and a little gap here for your workers to walk through. Then you'll have the gap, place the next drying rack in line with this beam, and then it will be the same here. In line with the beam, in line with the beam, small gap, little space, little space. Okay, then on the end of this rack, we're going to do the cauldrons and the labs. So at the end of this rack, because it's up against the beam, you will place a cauldron facing you all the way up against the wall. Then you'll have the 2 spaces. So that way then this part of this cauldron is in line with this beam, and you'll place the next one here. That way then there's space for your workers to walk through either side, and there's nothing stopping them. And this storage rack, where you are going to have as much gasoline as you want in it, is for you I think it's about, so this takes 20 gasoline, and it takes about 7 in-game hours to cook 20 leaves. So with a 20 stack of gasoline, that is about 140 in-game hours. So if you can't be bothered to put 20 gasoline into this cauldron every 140 in-game hours, this isn't the game for you, brothers. But it's just that simple. That's all that rack is for, and the same over that side with gasoline, you know. And then if you spin it around, we're gonna have, obviously, if you've got this storage rack here, you can place this lab up against the storage rack, up against the wall. Then you'll have like the 2 space, and then you'll have the next lab in line with it and in line with this. So obviously, as you can see, it's all in line. So that way then there's a runway going from the outside to the inside. And then basically, obviously you can't come through this way because this is going to be blocking it. You can jump over this stuff. Once again, like I says, once this is all placed down, the reason why I've had these gaps instead of a gap over here is because your workers can actually walk through these gaps. Be careful though, because there is a little bug. Like the floor does get a bit buggy in between these racks, and sometimes you'll fall through. You'll land in some water underneath the ground, and you'll come back in here. It's not a really big deal. Anyway, you'll do the same on this side. So once again, you'll have it up against the rack, the storage rack. This is gasoline again, which you'll be using for the same thing to fill up these cauldrons, where every 140 in-game hours, then you'll have it in line with this beam. You'll have the 2 space, and then you'll have this one in line with this beam too. And then once again, this lab in line, leaving a one gap here, which you can walk past. And then obviously 2 gap there, this one being up against this storage rack and this wall. That is basically that setup. Now we're going to go over the mixers. So you should already have these already set up. So the way that I've done it is I've tried to get it as central as possible. And from here, I've had it so it's basically in line, if not a bit more in, with like a from here to here gap. So I've tried to place it in line with this beam, but then a little gap there. Obviously facing this way and this way. And then you've got the gap all the way here. So it's in line with the drying rack. You're going to have one facing that way. The 2 storage racks, space, 2 storage racks, space, 2 storage racks, 1 mixer facing that way and that way. The 1 space again on here, 1 space again on here. And it's just that simple to set that up. All right, now we're going to go over the mixers. So these are all going to have 20 extra long life soil. and 30 fertilizer and 30 cocoa seeds. That one's going to have the same, this one's going to have the same, this one's going to have the same, and that one over there is going to be the same, because these are going to be the supply racks to your botanists for these plant pots, which we are going to set up here. But our recipe is actually going to be motor oil, Coke, paracetamol, gasoline, Coke again, batteries, horse semen, and then mega beans. That's going to be the mixer. These are, like I says, these racks are overflow with 40 soil. Then you're going to have 60 fertilizer and 60 cocoa seeds in both sides. So that way, then when these start to dwindle down, which will take a while because it takes about 7 to 12 in-game hours for each plant to grow, the cocoa leaves to grow. So it is going to be pretty slow. So you have to fill that up yourself because you can't get enough employees to automate that. That is like the least hands-on that you physically have to be in this home build. All right, now that we've basically got the whole setup here, we're going to go over assigning all of your handlers and stuff. We're going to start with the botanist first. We're going to set the beds, set them exact however you want. But then supply rack. So this guy is good. We're going to go left to right. We're going to make him pull supplies out of that rack. Then his pots are going to be, so the way that I'm going to do it is each botanist is going to have a line each. Okay. One thing that I figured out about botanists with the drying rack and the plant pots is if you select the two drying racks first, they will prioritize drying stuff and moving the already dried stuff to their destination when they're ready, over when the plant pots are ready to water or harvest and whatnot, to keep it constantly flowing. So you're going to choose these two racks first, and then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there is how it should see: dry rack, and then all the air pots. That is your first one done. And we'll find the second botanist here. Sometimes this car is gonna, you know, shift the people out of the way and make it kind of buggy and annoying, but just bear with it. You know, here's gonna be supplied rack to this, and then here's gonna, once again, this one, and then this one, and then we're gonna go this, 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 and this. Click enter. Here's going to be set up. Then we're going to scroll back out and then look for the third botanist. Once again, set up the bed. Then we're going to go for this drying rack, this storage rack, sorry. And then we're going to go this drying rack, this drying rack, and then we're going to go this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Click enter, or just let go of left shift to complete selecting. Then we're going to scroll back out and we're going to get the last botanist supply rack all the way over here, clicking on this juicy mofo, and then once again we're going to select this drying rack, and then once again these 6 pots. It doesn't really matter how you select the pots in like what order, but as long as obviously you have these 2 drying racks selected in each time, it's great. Scroll out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on every single drying rack, and we are going to turn it to heavenly quality. Manage heavenly quality. We ain't going to do a destination yet because that is what it is. Now we're going to select every single pot now that you've got all of your emotional damage. Hey, appreciate the follow, Pablo. How you doing? Welcome. We're going to select all of the pots. So go through selecting all of the pots here. Should come to 24. Click manage seed, cocoa seed. Then we're going to go fertilizer, and we're not going to do the destination yet. We're going to scroll out, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to select these 3 pots, manage, destination, this drying rack. And then you're going to do the same here with these 3, destination, this drying rack. And that's how you're going to split it up. It's just going to be straightforward. 1, 2, 3, destination, drying rack. 1, 2, 3, destination, drying rack. It's pretty straightforward. It's not really that confusing, or at least it shouldn't be that confusing. 1, 2, 3, drying rack. 1, 2, 3, drying rack. It is a bit tedious having to do each individual one, but if you want it to be automated and you want it to run smooth, just got to do it this way. Right. Now that all the pots are actually set up with the destinations and everything, we will then select the drying racks. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to have 1, 2. So these 2 drying racks are going to go to... Now we're going to make it even. These 2 drying racks are going to... So you select them 2 drying racks, you go destination, and then that cauldron. And then we'll go to these 2 drying racks, select them, manage, destination, this cauldron. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to do the same. So make sure you scroll out so that way then you deselect the other drying racks. You do this one, manage, destination, this cauldron. And you come back down, this one, destination, this cauldron. And then that is your plant section all sorted out. There should be no issues now if you've set it up exactly the same way. Then it's just as simple. Come across to your cauldrons, destination, this, scroll out, destination, this. We'll do the other side. Quickest way to do this is to jump over the mixers, crouch, get over, scroll out, manage, destination, this, manage, destination, this. Then we're going to go all of the lab ovens, destination, and it's going to be the first one all the way down here, because this is going to be the motor oil. Because the way that we're going to try and make it do is that, yeah, it is a long way for them to walk all the way from over there to here, but the way that the system's going to go, what's a fenter, is go all the way around in a circle, and then the end mixture is going to end up here, which then we're going to brick press it and then pop it in there. Or if you've got a packaging station, you might have a packaging station over here up against here, or, you know, somewhere where you can then get them to jar / bag up the stuff. All right, now that the lab ovens are complete, we are going to set up the mixing stations. Starting from this side, we're going to manage, turn up the threshold to 10, destination, going to be this mixing station. Close it out, scroll out, manage, threshold 10, destination, this mixing station. Close out, scroll out, threshold 10, destination, next mixing station. Manage, threshold 10, destination, this mixing station. Close out, threshold 10, next destination, this mixing station. You know, I'm sure you guys already get the scheme here, you know, the running, you know, persistent thing in what I'm saying here. Now, I just want to make sure that you guys get it done. Then the last destination is going to be either to the brick press or to the packing station, wherever you've got it. And then a bit later on, with that, when we're setting up the handlers, I will explain how to set up a packaging station. But at this point, you shouldn't really be messing around with a packaging station. You should just be funneling it all through a brick press, giving it out to your dealers, and then just breaking down any bricks that you are not given to your dealers that you want to sell yourself and jar up / bag them up yourself, because you're not going to need that much. So that is this all set up. We are going to set up all of our chemists. We're going to go left to right, starting with this person, assign station. And then what we are going to do is we're going to go from here. We're going to choose this cauldron, this lab. Then we're going to come all the way down here, select this one, and then this one. Click enter, and that's that done. Then we're going to go to the next one and do the same. Like, there is like a cauldron bug. You may have to save and reload your game quite a lot. Well, I say quite a lot. For the first like 3 cycles, if your chemists are getting bugged on the cauldron, the only way to fix it realistically is save the game and reload your save file. That is pretty much the only way to fix it. So we'll assign this person, these 2. Click enter, and there's that. And then we're going to run all the way outside again. Grab the 3rd chemist. I'm sure I did these 2. Yes, I did. Grab this 3rd chemist, assign stations. And what we're going to do is this one, and then what we're going to do is come down here, select this one and this one, click enter, and then the last one, we're going to do this one, and this one, and this one. Now, the reason why I'm assigning the outer wall ones to the closer mixers is because they have to walk from there over to there, right? when they're working in this 4 segment, whereas here, and down there. I know it's a bit far, but I just tried to make it as asymmetrical as possible, and just run smoothly. Click enter, and then there are your chemists complete, and all your destinations for everything should be set up. If you guys do have any questions, let me know. I know right now we got to set up the handlers. The handlers are pretty straightforward. We're going to go with this guy first because he's the first guy. We're going to get him. Actually, we won't assign the first guy the brick press. We're just going to assign routes to him. So the first route is going to be this first rack here. Is going to move it, which is going to be motor oil, from there to this mixer. Then he's going to move this rack here, which should be coke, from here to this mixing station. Then we're going to get him to move the paracetamol. Make sure that you click on that rack to this mixer, and then make sure it's the one that's highlighted, from this to this. And then that's that guy done. Now we'll go get the other handler, which is this guy, and then we are going to assign him to the brick press, or you'll assign him to the packing station. Now, if you are using a packing station with this handler, with this 5th route, you'll add, and then let's just say, because you're going to have this one empty, or you're going to have this one empty, depending on which one you're going to have the product going to. So you'll place whichever one is going to be empty with no stock in. It's going to either have jars or baggies in, which then you'll have him route the jars and baggies from there to the packing station. The guy that is not working the packing station. Okay? So I'm going to cancel that because we're using a brick press, but that's all you have to add on, and you assign that guy to the packing station, or this guy to the packing station. It doesn't really matter who, but then that's your packaging station setup if you are looking to only use jars or baggies. But we're not doing that, so ignore that if you're using the brick press. We're going to select this guy. We're going to come all the way down here, and we're going to go in order from this storage rack to this storage rack, from make sure this storage rack to this mixing station. I don't know why I said storage rack twice in the last one. This storage rack to this mixing station, and last of all, this to this. And then both of them will have spare ones unless you're having packing stations. But then you'll close out your E, you'll make sure this last destination is to the brick press. You'll open up the brick press destination, and you can either select there or there. It doesn't really matter. And that should be the full cycle complete. Once again, when you're trying to order stuff in, it's really simple. Your best bet to do is every day that you can, like when all the stock is starting to run out, go to the Gas Smart West. You'll fill in 80 motor oil. So we'll do this in a list. Down in the comments, I'll pin a message of the actual recipe, but it will be 80 motor oil, 80 coke, 80 paracetamol, 80 gasoline on the first one. You'll set it to the barn, number 1, and then you'll come down, you'll open up the second one, and then you'll do 80 coke again with 80 batteries, 80 coke, 80 batteries, 80 horse semen, and then 80 mega beans. And then basically what you'll end up getting is you'll have enough for 80 lots of cocaine. So that is what, 2, 4, 6, 8, that's 4 bricks worth. And this cocaine that you'll be making will be a suggested price of $735, which you will be able to in your products. Yours is going to be called something different to mine. So don't be worried that yours is a different name to mine, because the game auto generates names for each save file, but you should still have this suggested price of $735. What I am going to suggest is you put it up to $999, because that is as high as the game will physically let you go, and it is below the 1.4 times theory that people have been throwing about. I tried the 1.6 times theory with the island cheese. Where is it? I think I took it off because I'd finished selling it and creating it. But anyway, there was an island cheese here. I was doing it at 1.6, and the same with my cocaine, because I was just trying to sell Tokyo Monkey. I had that at 1.6 times the suggested, and my dealer's daily income went from 30k, because I'm only currently using 4 dealers and they're not filled with the best cocaine in the game, went from 30k averaging down to like 12k averaging because all of their customers started to stop buying the cocaine because of how much higher above the suggested you were trying to ask for. I've put it down to 1.4 times and I haven't had a single problem. It's gone back up. I've been actually making a couple of thousand more every other day or whatever, you know, because it's never consistent on how much you make. It's between like 28k to 32k. Every day is different, but that is the build. Like I says before, make sure you have these on Heavenly. As much as people try to say in the comments or in other YouTube videos that, oh, you don't need it to be Heavenly, that only matters for standards. At the end of the day, I have seen it where I have been offered more money for my product when it is higher quality than when it's a lower quality. And I feel like my dealers actually get more money. If not, they have more sales. Now, I know each customer can technically only buy once per day from said dealer or from you. So 8 customers, if you're making 8 sales, they may buy, because it's Heavenly compared to premium, they may buy 2 of the Heavenly compared to buying 1 from your dealer, which technically you are making more money per day that way. I've tried a few of these things. I haven't actually made a video on it or anything yet, because I don't know whether it would be that interesting, and it's just going to be really... I feel like there are a lot of inconsistencies about this game on setting things up and how consistent things are for each individual person. I feel like everybody with their own individual games do get different things happen and do get different results a lot of the time. You know, this is just my opinion. From the way that a lot of people have been saying things in the comment. People in the comments have been saying that they've been making tons more money with the 1.6 times. I wasn't making... I was losing all the customers at 1.6 times. So now that I went down to 1.4 times, I'm doing great. And, you know, all my dealers have tons of money. The ones that I didn't take money out, I took money out of these 2 not long ago. But I'm finally getting through my meth and my low quality cocaine. Well, I say low quality, but only 4 mix cocaine. And hopefully I can start shipping my dealers with this 8 mix cocaine and start drilling. I really appreciate you guys that have actually watched the video from the start to finish. You guys are absolute fucking legends, and I really appreciate you. And it means the world to me for you guys to give me all this support that you guys have. This past like 12, 13 days since I've been releasing Schedule 1 videos have been absolutely mind-blowing. I'm now monetized, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down below in the comments if you did, or even if you didn't, and reasons why you didn't. You know, hell, give me tips and your opinions on things down in the comments, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. I try to reply to every single comment that has been in every single video as soon as I can. If I don't reply for a few hours, generally it's because I'm asleep or I'm out with my family because I got kids and, you know, a wife and stuff like that. So I am a busy man. But once again, come check out the Twitch stream as well. Twitch.tv/thecoconutstick. I'm pretty much live every day. I do actually play various games on stream though. All sorts of stuff. Repo, Total War Warhammer 3, CS2, TFT, you know, sometimes League of Legends, you know. The primary game right now is Schedule 1 because I'm trying to pump out content for you guys on YouTube. But yeah, enough yapping. Appreciate you guys. You're all absolute legends. Have a beautiful day, evening, night, wherever you guys are from. Peace the fuck out.